This is the Thrive Podcast with Shiloh Missionary Baptist Church. And now, Pastor Fred Jeff Smith.
Hello, welcome to the Thrive Podcast with the Shiloh Missionary Baptist Church. I'm Fred Jeff Smith, pastor of Shiloh, and I'm very happy that you chose to either listen on iTunes or view on YouTube this week's version of our Thrive Podcast. I am very happy today to welcome a couple here with us. One has been with us before, Mr. Howard Hall. Today he brings his better half, Shawanga, with him, and we're delighted to have the Halls here with us today on the Thrive Podcast. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for agreeing.
Thank you.
So I have been told that you all have a couples ministry that I need to know something about. So just tell me something about your couples ministry. Tell me. I know that Mr. Hall is a comedian by profession, but tell me about this couples ministry, please.
Hey, you got that, baby. Go ahead.
He gonna give it to me?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to you. I'm tossing it your way.
Well, it's good that you tossed it my way because before we were asked about the couples ministry, God actually gave me a vision 2 months before we were asked about the couples ministry. He came in a dream to me and gave me that vision that Howard and I didn't know exactly what it would be, but it would just be us helping couples.
Okay.
And 2 months later, our pastor came to us about it. And when he came to us about it, I had a peace in my spirit, and I just smiled, and I just thought about, like, it's amazing how God works. But it was a no-brainer because Howard and I were in a position to where we were ready to take that on.
Okay.
We always talk about, you know, things that may be going on in our lives if we're not prepared, or if we have certain things that's going on in our lives with the kids, with our marriage, we're not going to take on something that, you know, we shouldn't be taking on because of not having finished business in our own household. So at that time, we were in a great space to be able to be put over to couples ministry. And our couples ministry is a little different from the traditional couples ministry. Howard and I are a down-to-earth couple. If anyone have ever met us or have, you know, come in contact, they know what you see is what you get. We're very authentic, and we're very real. So we are trying to have a goal of just reestablishing, restoring relationships and marriages and building families, and not doing it in such a traditional way. But a lot of people feel like they can't be open or can't talk about certain things. But Howard and I have gone through so many trials and tests that you'll be surprised what we've been through, that, you know, people also have been through. So when they find out, they're more open to being able to talk to us about things in their marriage and even with their children.
Mm-hmm. So give me the particulars. What church? You said your pastor asked you to come. What church is this?
Church 360 Christian Center in Zachary, Louisiana.
Okay.
Pastor Leroy Scott.
Yeah.
That was going to be my next question. You all undertook this couples ministry. How many couples do you have in your ministry at this point?
At this point, we have I think six?
Yeah, about six or eight.
6 or 8 right now.
That's great.
And then we opened
Each
it
meeting,
up.
yeah, each meeting we grow. Yeah.
That's great.
We just opened it up on social media, like just told like the world, and now our inboxes won't stop
Blowing up.
blowing up. So it's going to move even more now.
And tell us about your marriage. How many years have you all been married, and what's the number of children? How does that whole thing go?
How funny is this? We've been married 12 years.
Okay.
We have 4 kids.
Yes.
3 grandkids. If you remember the
I remember, but
our listeners might not.
Exactly. I'm trying to lead you to let everybody know what's going on.
What I'm gonna need them to do is go a couple of episodes back and listen to that one. But no, married 12 years, 4 kids, 3 grandkids, man. A slew of unofficial sons and daughters.
Yes.
Okay.
Thanks to my wife.
Okay.
And her not only her heart but her background in social work. She is phenomenal with I should say with children. Mm-hmm. She's phenomenal with them. More so teens. she just speaks. She knows how to not only speak their language, but she knows how to speak through them and to them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so not to them, but through them, and they respond to her. So as soon as she meets one, and they hold on, it's like we have them until the rest of their lives.
Okay.
Seriously. So,
Okay.
nah, man, like that's where we've been, man.
So, you say that your couples ministry is unique. What are some of the unique issues that have arisen within your ministry in the short time that you all have had it up and going?
We have, I'll say one of the unique things we do is our approach. Our approach of what we, how we, I don't want to say, how we tackle marriage ministry, because we did research for about a month and a half, 2 months, just looking around, seeing what people were doing. Why was this only happening once a month, and then they have an event once a year? Like, why isn't there any focus? I shouldn't say any focus. Why isn't there more focus on the marriage when we know family is like one of the cornerstones of the church? And the one thing you need with a family to help is a mom and a dad, a husband and a wife. Like, they need to be there. So we was wondering why it wasn't being focused on even more. So we was like, what can we do to shine a light on how not only good marriage is, but what it can be and what it can do for the people around you. So we started looking at different ways. We was like, all right, we know we can approach it in a social media standpoint. We can meet with people in different ways than people have done it in the past, which means like it doesn't have to be just a marriage ministry meeting at the church at 7 o'clock and we all sit at the chairs. Nah, I can meet you on Facebook Live. I can meet you on Instagram. We can go meet individually. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, and the one thing we want to make sure that we told everybody is like, look, we're not counselors at all. No, our marriage ministry is, we're more of we're cheerleaders, and all, like, we're rooting for you. But we also gonna tell you the truth. Like, we're not gonna sugarcoat it. Like, it's rooted in scripture, but we also rooted in real life. Like, we know you have real life problems as well, and like, oh, we're dealing with this. It was like, oh, well, we could tell you our story. Our story might just help you, and we are not candid with it. We are very truthful. We don't care, because we figured out a long time ago that our story helps a lot of people, especially when you don't try to make it look all shiny and brushed off and like a trophy.
Right.
Nah, we tell people every day we work hard, and the reason it's working is because we both want to be married to each other, and we had one couple that said, "Man, I want what y'all got," and I was like, "I don't know if you're willing to go through what we went through to have what we have." I was like, you might not want to wish that on yourself. I was like, but just know it's work to be put in. Like, yeah, you see us all happy and whatnot. I was like, but we could tell you about some times where it was WWE. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, nah, man, like, that's our approach. Like, our approach is like, not only one thing that I heard my wife say to someone that called us about coming, she said, we'll meet you where you are. You don't have to come. Like, wherever you at, we'll meet you where you are. And that doesn't mean physically in a location. We'll meet you, hey, man, I'm not sure about my marriage. Okay, let's talk about it. Okay. Tell me why. Like, we'll meet you where you are.
So you all have impromptu meetings, you all have regular meetings, you all have online meetings, you all have in-person meetings. That sounds like a whole lot of time that's devoted to this. How do you guys make the time allotment for that, plus your own families, plus your own individual pursuits? It sounds like you have to really be on top of time management in order to make this work.
That's a good question, because we get asked that. I since I've been married to him, I think we've gotten asked that question, because we do have 4 children, and all 4 of our children are
excellent at something,
extraordinary in something. So we've always stayed busy with being active in our children's lives and doing something. And him doing comedy, having shows. So we've always have had to figure out a way to balance so many things going on at one time. And people always ask, how do you do it? How do you all do it? And my answer is always, I can't answer. I don't think about it. It's nothing but God, because I don't think about it. Probably if I thought about it, I probably would, pass out on a pillow somewhere. But we tend to, realistically, especially where we are today in our marriage, we do sit down and talk about it and plan things out and prioritize. Everything is not at the top of the list. So we prioritize what we need to do. We took on the responsibility of the marriage ministry. That's a priority right now. We made sure that our children are in a good space before we did that, and they are. So we are prioritizing based on what's important at the moment, and we schedule based on that.
Very, very, very interesting. I understand that you have your own personal story that you might want to share.
Okay.
That was good, because I have no clue what he was talking about, but your personal story though, I guess.
Okay. I have a long history. Well, before Howard, I was married. So he is my second husband. Before Howard, I was married, and I had 3 children with, before that, I was a pregnant teen at 18. I had my son. He's now 24. And then I met my second husband, and we had 2 children together. And we divorced, and then I met Howard. But through all that, I went through a stage of depression. Especially after having children, not realizing what postpartum depression was. And also being a social worker, you don't want to attach the stigma of something being wrong with you when you're a person that's supposed to be helping others. So that part of me got swept under the rug by myself and others probably who noticed, but just, I'm usually I was the one in the family, or just the one period to fix everything or to make sure everything was okay and everybody was okay. So I fell apart in the process. But I met Howard at one of his comedy shows while I was going through my divorce. And when we met, he asked me a question.
Asked her a question.
A real question.
I said, hey, boo. What you drinking? I got you. That's literally.
This is the initial meeting.
That is the first. Actually, not the first thing I told you. The first thing I told you was like, hey, how you doing? My name is Howard.
Yeah.
Okay. And that was at the comedy show.
Yeah.
But we went to an after party, and I never go to after parties. If I do go, it's because I'm obligated. And if I do, am I obligated? I'm there 30 minutes. And I'm out, right? So I was like, I'm gonna go. So she went too, and I think you were already there.
Yeah.
I finally showed up, so I'm just casing the place, and I see her, and I was like, all right, cool. I didn't have that much game. I was 21, so I knew what I was gonna ask. I knew she was older than me because I knew her younger sister. Me and her younger sister are best friends. So I was like, all right, how do you approach an older woman? I know. Hey, boo. What are you drinking? I got you. That is literally what I had at the time. It's so bad,
Clearly, it's not that bad.
I know.
It's not.
It's not that bad.
I mean, but on paper, oh, God, it looked bad. If you had to write that down and say, this is what you're going to have to say to this lady, and be like, that's tough. And her response was, what was your response, baby?
My response was, I am going through a divorce and I have 3 kids, and if you can't deal with it, then you need to
come correct.
Yeah. Told the truth.
That was in a club, pal.
I like that.
I was very straightforward and also in my head, I'm going through so much, you are really not, you don't want this.
Right.
And he said,
I got you.
Okay.
I got you.
You mentioned that you had experiences with postpartum and depression. the cliched belief, the stereotype, is that African Americans shy away from acknowledgement of emotional and mental health issues. In your experience as a social worker, do you find that to be true, or do you think that that's more myth than reality?
From what I've experienced and what I've seen, I find that to be definitely true.
Why do you think that is?
Just working with adults as well as children, and now being an adult who went through it and having not just one child but two children that have had those issues, I'm really seeing more. And now that you bring this up, I'm on another mission and a purpose now to become an advocate for mothers and daughters, or just people in general, especially our Black community, and making awareness of mental health, because I have a daughter who suffered with depression and dyslexia and some other things that that caused harm to herself, and I'm very candid in talking about it, because in the Black community, from what I see, it's a stigma that something is wrong with me. And personally, going through that experience with my daughter, I watched her for a while without even saying anything about my experience, not sharing with her what I went through, because I was embarrassed to tell my daughter that I went through that. I didn't want her to know that what you see, this strong woman before you, your mother, went through that. And it took me sitting through one of her appointments and the doctor asking the history of the family, and I had to answer the question. And in a matter of a second, I decided to answer it truthfully and say, yes, we have a history of depression in our family. And she said, who? And I said, myself, her mother. And I just sat across the table and I watched my daughter's face, and I just watched as it soaked in. But I could see in her brain, her processing that it's not just me. So you have people and children thinking that they're going through these things by themselves and not understanding what's wrong with me or what's going on with me. And of course, in the community, we deem it as, oh, they're crazy. And so the children attach the craziness to some things that they don't understand that's going on with them, so they don't want it to be known that something is wrong with me. They know something is not right, but of course, youth, even some adults, can't articulate emotionally what's going on or what's wrong with them. And I'm seeing that more and more. And I've worked with children who have mental illness problems, and God allowed me to have that job before finding out my daughter was going to go through that. So He planted me in that job to learn a little bit more about it. And me having that job caused me to be more open and honest with myself first. And then once I saw my daughter going through it, now we're at the point where she's now open about talking about her experience. And now we're on a purpose to just make people more aware of mental health issues.
As her husband, seeing your wife struggle with this, what did you perceive your role to be in helping her through this process?
The one thing that I not only researched, but a counselor that we go to see, who is phenomenal, Barbara Green. She told me, she was like, you have to understand that she has to go through this. Like, you can't bring her out of it. Like, so don't even attempt.
You can't fix it.
I can't fix it.
Yeah.
Like, that's the first thing that a man feels like he needs to do. If you see your wife going through something, the first thing you want to do is grab it.
Right.
Let me take it. I got this.
Right.
Like, let me take hold of this. He was like, this is something you can't even attempt to even try to grasp. Like, the one thing you need to make sure is that she is encouraged and that you understand where she's at and what she's going through, and that it is okay to be going through this. And just stand there. Like, it's almost like God telling you to be still. Like, hey, I'm working right now. Just be still. Like, I know you want it to be done. You want your wife to be okay.
Right.
Like, immediately.
Right.
And he was like, but I knew that it was going to take time. I had to come to the realization, this is not overnight. This is not in 3 weeks. This is not in 3 months.
Yeah.
Like, I have to be okay with, I'm gonna just make sure that she's in the best space that she can be in every day. I'm gonna make sure I don't add to anything that she's going through while she's going through this, just to help her through it. Because I know she has to get through it.
Right.
Like, if she asks for my help in anything, I'll try my best to do whatever she asks me to do. But I know when it came to depression, when it came to dealing with that, I just have to be here. She taught me that even going through with my daughter. Because you want to take that on too. You just want to.
Yeah, you want to protect your child.
You want to protect your child.
Right.
Or something may happen where you don't know why it's coming at you or why she's coming at you this way. She helped me articulate what's happening. Like, she discerns what's really going on, and I was so green with the issue, and that's just with being not knowing really how deep depression goes, how sometimes it comes out, how adolescents react to it, and how adults may react to it from an adolescent. She kind of walked me through that, which helped me. So as a husband, I just had to just be there, be encouraging, let her know it's okay, and let her know that, hey, you're not alone.
I have two questions, one for you and one for you. For you, it has to be a feeling of impotence to be in a situation where you want to fix something, but you know you can't fix it, and you're standing there watching it.
Yes.
And you just have to watch it until the process works its way through. You assist where you can, but really you can't remedy that. How do you handle, you personally, how do you handle that feeling of impotence? Because I've been there. I've been in places where I have been completely powerless to do something about something that was happening to someone that I love and care about.
Yeah.
And it is the most weak, sad feeling you can possibly have. So I'm asking you, how do you deal with that?
I transferred a lot of, well, first and foremost, God helped me be okay with that feeling. Like, hey, it's okay. Like, because a part of me was like, this is not okay. I need to do something. Even if that something is doing nothing, I still want to be in the action of doing something that I may think may be helping her, and it's definitely not doing anything. But he helped me understand that you don't even have to do that, and it's okay. The second thing that helped me was I had an outlet. Like, I use comedy as an outlet. Like, it is literally a therapist for me. I can lose myself in it. I can forget about problems. I can forget about things that's happening. I can just encase myself into stand up, even if it's for 15 minutes in one night. That 15 minutes where most people would be like, man, that's not enough. I need way more time just to revive. That 15 minutes can probably fulfill me for another 2 or 3 weeks, just to help her and just be there, even though I'm not doing anything. So those were my two things. Like, God helped me, and he allowed comedy to be my outlet.
Shawanga, my question for you has to do with the fact that you're professionally trained to respond to this, but all that training goes out the window when it's happening to someone that you love and care about. You forget all about what you read, what went on in some clinical study. Now it's you and your child, or someone that you love, someone that you care about. In my business, you have to develop a professional distance between people and their tragedies in order to minister to them. If I'm dealing with people who are facing terminal illness, if I'm dealing with people who have had tragic deaths in their family, and I want to know a death that isn't tragic, because to a family, all deaths are tragic. You develop a distance that allows you to minister to them, but when it happens to your family, all that distance is gone. So how did you respond? How did you deal with it when it became uniquely personal?
and I'm grabbing his hand because it's hard to talk about. Just coming back, just listening to him, it just brings me back to where I was. But this is comforting because he was there the whole time, and even just going through it. We were just talking about this, going through it with our daughter. It's almost like a out-of-body experience. Like all social work, all that goes out of the door. Like it's, and then part of you is like, I'm supposed to know what to do, but I don't know what to do. And you're looking, and over the years, like you said, I've like mothered children that I didn't carry for 9 months, and helped them. And here I am, my own child needs help, and I don't know how to help my child. I can't help my child. I don't know how. So it's been a lot of crying out to God, trying to figure out, just asking God to help me. I know what I went through with myself, and here it was now going through it with my daughter, but he also allowed me to see that you didn't just go through it for yourself, but I allowed you to go through it because this was coming. So I was able to just pull myself together, and like he said, be able to just help him articulate and learn more about it so he can know how to communicate and how to respond with and to our daughter. And I just became more of a comforter instead of a reactor, because initially it was just reacting to, what are you doing, what is going on, this is not normal, not in my family, this is not normal, this is not happening, this can't be happening to me. Instead now is, we're just like any other family. I'm a social worker, but I'm also a person with children, and also issues and things happen. So just knowing that at any point in time, the devil is going to try to attack, especially when you're solid in areas like we know we're solid in our marriage. So he uses our children. So I just try to stay rooted and grounded in where I am, so I can, like you said, be able to minister not just to other people but to my child as a mother.
In your couples ministry, is there a wide age range, or are most of your couples all generally the same age?
No, I think our oldest couple is, they've been married 30 something years.
Yeah, I think about probably like 30 years.
30 years, and then our youngest couple has been married a year.
A year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a wide range.
So one of the things that happens when you have that wide a range of people is that the more experienced couples can share that experience with the younger couples, and help them see that they're not the first couple to ever go through whatever it is they are going through.
We learn that every time we have a meeting.
Every time we have a meeting, that happens, and it's amazing because even it crosses over from the older couples to the younger couples, and the younger couples to the older couples. Before we end each meeting, we always ask, like, what did you take? And everybody shares, and usually one couple is pointing out another couple and something that, they took from that couple, or that they, were amazed, or that they can, may try to use regarding something like communication in their marriage. And here they are in it 30 years, but this is something new that they would love to incorporate into their marriage.
And we also tell them that we are still learning from you all.
Right.
Like, this is, ministry for us.
Right.
Yes, we are over the marriage ministry, but we're also taking from you all as well. Like, we're receiving as well.
Yeah.
So it's been that. Like, we've been learning from a 1-year couple and somebody been married 30 years.
Is it limited to the members of your church, or is it open to any couple, any married couple?
Any couple.
Okay.
And to be honest, our pastor just told us, this was on last week, he was in our marriage ministry, and he was like, this is healing. Like, this is like, I think just people need to hear this. He was like, if single people, divorced people, want to come in and just listen, and because you never know what they might have, he said, invite them in. He said, because they may be on the verge of in a relationship that's about to turn into marriage engagement, or they just freshly out of one and didn't know what they could have done
Right.
in order to either save that marriage, stay in that marriage, or choose to leave.
Right.
So he was like, he said, invite everybody. So I was like, okay.
One of the things that happens, especially if you're in a second marriage or a third marriage, I'm in my third marriage, so you're not by yourself where that's concerned. One of the things that happens is you run the risk of bringing baggage with you from previous relationships into the current relationship. Are there signals that let you know when you're interacting with couples that maybe they're bringing something from a previous relationship into the current relationship?
I would say yes. It may be hard for me to articulate right now because I just have discernment a lot of times, plus just experience. I know I brought a lot of baggage into our marriage when we got married. Like, I put him through so much, and it wasn't even him. It was just the marriage before, the relationships before. I went through domestic abuse, mental, emotional abuse. So it was all of that, and he's being hit with it. And I think he was 20.
I was 21, 22.
21 at the time, and I was 6 years older with 3 children. So, bringing all of that, it's amazing how he's still here, but he's supposed to be because he's my soul.
Yeah.
Because I literally, when I met him, I thought he was too good to be true because of what I was coming with. I came with a mouth. I came with some punches that
mouth
would tear any man down, any man. And I really thought that was gonna run him off. Just the baggage of just, being in other relationships, having the stigma of being abused and, divorced and kids. I'm like, he's not gonna stick around. So I subconsciously tried to sabotage him being there.
Interesting.
And educated in how to use the mouth against you. Like, I'm in social work. I've been around mental illness. I know I can ask you a couple questions and already figure out, hey, you might have a problem, you might have a mama issue, or you might have a dad issue, or she can figure that out in 10 questions. And then all of a sudden in the argument, boom, she bring that mug out of her pocket, hit you right in the chest with it, and you be like, oh, that's tough.
Yeah.
But I feel like this. I didn't know what I was getting myself into, totally. But I knew it was going to be some work. So when she said, like, I brought baggage in, yes, I had baggage as well, but I didn't have a chance to unload my baggage. Like, mine came later, most definitely, but I didn't even have enough time to. Like, I'm up here being a father for the first time without even having to go through the beginning parts of where you can actually fail to be a father and nobody kind of remembers those times. Like, these kids gonna remember if I fail,
right?
Because they are already here and they're talking,
right?
So I'm going through that. I'm going through also, like, I knew she was hurt. Like, I knew, like, her past relationships. I knew how hurt she was. I didn't know to the extent. I didn't know how much it was going to take to get her through it. But I knew it was going to come with something. So going in with that, I kind of knew, hey, you're going to have to, your skin going to have to be tough. Like, this is not for the faint. But at a pivotal time in our, I'm not even going to say in our marriage, we was engaged. At a pivotal time when we were together, like, God told me, hey, that's your wife. And I was so mad.
What were you upset about?
Because what was that? I think what happened at the time.
It was a rough time
we
going on.
We had like an argument.
It was bad.
And she just rolled out. Like, she just got, like, literally. No,
and left the kids at the house.
She just left the kids at the house. And she just gone. And I'm literally sitting there, and I'm like, these ain't my kids. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm 23 years old.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I got a lot going for myself, man. Comedy has just started, it's booming. Why am I folding clothes? She ain't even hear what I was so, and then I remember I was like, you know what, forget this. I finished. I went into the bathroom. I was taking a shower, and he told me in the shower, that's your wife. I said, God, dog, are you serious? You ever receive confirmation and ask again? You sure? I'm not saying you don't know, but and he said it, and I was like, all right, cool. That's when I knew.
You said, Lord, let's talk this thing over a little bit.
I know your timing is impeccable. God, you could have told me this yesterday. Nah, man, but that helped, man. Like, also, like, knowing that, like, I don't really believe people ask God questions enough. If you like you bring them in, like, hey, this is a relationship question. This is most of your life. This is who you probably choosing to be, choose the rest of your life. You can ask God that question.
You can and should.
And should.
Yes.
And wait on an answer.
Yes.
Like, don't get impatient and be like, well, I guess he don't. No, wait on the answer. I asked. He delivered.
Yes.
And I can say that helped me through some of the fastballs to the chest, as I call them. That helped me through that, knowing he gave me that confirmation already.
My second wife and I had 2 sons. I had no children by my first marriage. I had 2 children by my second marriage. So when I married my current wife, my present wife, my forever wife, hi Dimitri, my forever wife, I was very deliberate about bringing her into their lives.
Yes.
I didn't want to do anything that in any way would damage them any more than they had already been damaged by their mothers and my divorce. Blended families, that's what I'm trying to get to. Blended families, the difficulties surrounding blended families. You all have experienced it personally, and then I'm sure that you experience it within your marriage ministry.
Yes.
What are your thoughts about how to best handle blended relationships? And there was silence.
I know. I'm trying to think how we did it. Like, because we always get asked that because we are blended.
Blended, yeah.
Because
we have problems picking up prescriptions. That's how blended we are.
I know we are the Halls, the Jacksons, and the Wilsons.
Yeah,
you understand.
So I believe, like, we've always, she's always said this about me. I have confidence in myself. And that confidence gives me the leeway to not be offended or envious of her and her ex-husband's relationship and the kids that they have, or my son's father and the relationship that they have and the relationship that they have with their father. I'm okay with that happening. So when I showed up in their lives, I'm coming in like, hey man, what's your name? Hey, my name is Howard. Pleasure to meet you, man. Like, it's not, hey man, I'm their father now.
Right.
No
tension.
No tension. And I think with me coming in with that type of energy, knowing I'm here to help. I'm not saying I'm their father. You are their father. Help them, and because we never had any, as people say, baby daddy or baby mama issues.
We never had that. And everybody always wondered.
You all haven't had it, and that's a blessing.
Yeah.
I'm sure that within your ministries, your couples have had it.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
How have you all addressed it in those areas where you all have seen it? I'm not asking you to divulge people's personal issues, but where you have run into this problem, because it's a very real problem.
Yeah.
How have you all been able to respond to it?
We haven't yet.
Actually, we have on a personal level.
On the personal level, but not in the ministry. But me as a mom and as a female, I've always pride myself with even with my first son, having him so young and having to do it on my own, I never badmouthed his father. I never said anything to him negative about his dad. And his dad was not in his life for like he came in his life when he was 10 years old. And then it was a in and out thing. And even then I didn't badmouth him, or I just maintained just his sanity as far as protecting him and not having the inconsistency in his dad being there, but still never bad-mouthing him. I've always told my children, this is your dad, even when they felt a certain type of way, that that's your dad, that's still your dad, because we do deal with issues with our children, and their dad is remarried and has a wife. But I've always just my thing is respect. We all respect each other, and just being secure in your position as mom and as a woman, and then just respecting the others. I think that's what worked for us. And I just try to tell other couples, like, we want to be on one accord, not in regards to us, because it's not about us. Like, we've been past that when we decided to have these children. So these children are here. This is our focus. So our thing is, let's focus on the children and not what goes on, within it. And we deal with that personally because we have grandchildren, and our son has 3 different mothers, to his children. So we still deal with the different quarrels. So we're still teaching him how to manage and navigate, that with having, 3 children and 3 different moms, and having to have, to communicate and maintain that communication.
Yeah.
I mean, we also dealt with, like, this before the marriage ministry. We used to and still do sometimes meet with couples like that. They come to hang out with us. They say hang out, but then it turns into help me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that happens, and we're cool with that. And I know we ran into that issue before with one, and I do remember how we took it. Like, we try to explain to them that, like what she said, hey, first of all, the kid is the focus. Like, take your personal feelings out of this.
Right.
I want you to think about your son or your daughter and what they would want, right? And then the second thing is, like, once you put them first in this transaction between your blended family and the outside, since y'all married, and then you might have a baby mother or a baby father. Once you've already solidified, hey, we're doing this for him, then it's very, very easy to point out what the energy that's not about him. Very easy. You will notice it off the bat. So when you see that energy, you already know, oh, this is something else.
Right.
And I was like, once you notice it's something else, now you can take a step back. Now you don't, as she said, I don't react anymore. You ain't reacting to that energy. Because it ain't got nothing to do with your son or daughter. This energy is, you mad at me.
Yeah.
Or you mad at us, or you mad at something.
Right.
But it has nothing to do with them.
Right.
And I was like, what you need, like, and you need to just act accordingly. Hey, this ain't about you. Hey, I don't know if you're angry with me, but I just want to make sure he or she is okay. I said, once you start doing that, once you have shown, I should say, your baby mother or your baby father, that you're not going to react to that type of energy, nor am I going to give you any energy towards that in front of our child, let alone, not in person, or let alone in front of them. They start to act accordingly. They start to see, like, oh, this is not working. I'm not getting the rise I want out of them. I'm not getting the energy out of it. Once that start happening, I've seen changes. Now, we do know that there is no this square peg is gonna fit in every hole.
Yeah.
Yes, you're gonna run into some things where dad not giving it energy, they still coming with the energy.
You're gonna have something that you won't have control over.
Won't have control over. It is what it is. But you want to make sure that your space is right.
Yeah.
As long as you know that you're taking care of your child, and that your family and your household and your wife and our husband is you're good, you're doing what you're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
That energy is still gonna happen.
Right.
You have no control over that. What you can control is what's happening here.
How old are you guys, kids?
You want to start from the top and go down.
24,
Okay.
18, 15, and 11.
Okay. So the 24-year-old and the 18-year-old, are they still at home with you, or?
The 24-year-old, he's in college in Texas, so that's where he's in
San Antonio.
And the 18-year-old graduates this year, so she's still at home.
What school?
Zachary High.
Zachary High.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes. So, with one gone, one on the precipice of leaving, you guys are maybe 6 years away from having all the children out of the house.
We should have it down.
Don't you threaten me with a good time.
We talk about this all the time. We on countdown mode.
Man.
Well, the reason why I'm asking is because sometimes couples can get so caught up in the raising of their children.
Yeah, we talk about that.
they forget about
The marriage.
knowing each other.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to get to.
No.
No, I'm playing.
Not with us.
Okay.
We break dancing.
Yeah.
We wait. Do you understand me?
And that was always a thing with us. My mother told him that I get bored easily before he married me.
Yeah.
So he knew ahead of time that, you got to keep her engaged. But, and he knows that, I thought we were so different when we first met because I am such a stickler. I'm like, he's all over the place, and I'm like scheduled, organized. So I was
meticulous.
like, we are like night and day.
Why we need a schedule?
But the more and more we were married, the longer we married, the more and more we grew, I found out it's a lot that we're alike in and a lot of things that we like together.
Okay.
And we love to do a lot of things together. People always say, y'all are always together. We see y'all together all the time. Where this is where I love to spend my time. Like, why wouldn't I be, with my husband? This is my best friend. And we're in one of the best places in our marriage that we've ever been in, but we've always been touchy-feely, into each other. So our thing has always been not to get caught up in the routine because we had a lot going on with AAU basketball, cheer competitions, so much. And sometimes we would have to be like, okay, where things are scheduled, and my husband doesn't want to be on a schedule. He wants it to happen when he wants it to happen. So I had to recognize we can't be routine. You got to get out of this routine. So we're pretty much aware and try to stay aware of, okay, did you notice something, didn't happen tonight, or, so we are aware of each other, and we're into each other, and we stay into each other. One thing we do is we still date each other.
Yeah, we date.
And that is amazing. We're going to the movies when we leave here, by the way. That's our sneak off. The kids don't know. We do that too.
I thought the kids was coming.
No, they're not coming.
Oh, okay, bet. I ain't know.
We do a lot of sneak offs.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't know.
Sometimes I don't be knowing.
I understand.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
She
I have to plan it. What is the
Shazam?
Shazam. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna go see Shazam.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I have two movie buddies. I have my wife, and then I have my oldest son. And sometimes I have to pretend with one that I hadn't seen.
Come on now.
The movie.
my movie buddy is my youngest daughter.
Baby girl. Yes.
Baby girl. She gonna be upset.
Yes. She's our third leg.
Okay.
She's a daddy's girl.
I got you.
She'll be upset that I'm going to see anything Marvel, DC. She's with me.
It's funny because my wife likes to sit up high. And my son likes to sit down. Look, I couldn't care less.
Yes.
I can sit up high, I can sit down low. But that's because she'll say, well, we can all go together. And
I'm like, nah.
He doesn't want to sit where you're sitting. And if we sit down where he wants to sit, it's too close. I can't see it. So I'll go with him, and then I'll go with her. And as long as they don't ask, have you already seen this movie?
I know.
I'm in good shape.
Yeah.
If they ask, then I have to Lord forgive
I
me.
know.
No, baby, I ain't seen this movie.
When this came out again?
Yeah.
Can't believe it's out.
Don't know nothing about that.
Yeah,
We
man.
do the same thing.
Huh?
We do the same thing with my
Yeah.
daughter.
Yeah.
She's like that. She is attached to the hip of her dad.
Yeah.
And they do the comic.
We geeks, man.
Yeah,
we
they're
love
geeks,
comic book
and-
movies, man.
And
Okay.
she is not going to see a movie
I
without
can't
him.
wait for the Avengers.
That's what
movie.
we're waiting on.
3 hours and 2
Yes.
minutes,
I can't
man.
wait,
I'm
man.
looking forward to it.
Yes.
Every bit of it.
Yes.
Yes.
I just want you to know.
And so for me, that's 6 hours and 4 minutes. Because I'm going to have to see it.
You're going to have to see it twice.
Yes.
I know.
Yes.
I just love that I know that we're going to go on opening night and it's on spring break.
Right.
Kids out of school,
Right.
which means like if I tell them, look, we're going to the movies at noon. Noon is when it's happening then. Like it's going to be good. I can't wait for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
yeah.
I just showed my daughter last night the Joker trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. I didn't know anything about that movie.
Oh, I did.
Until this morning,
No.
and I saw the trailer, and
saw
Joaquin Phoenix
Yes,
is playing
Joaquin
it,
Phoenix.
and he has it down. I didn't think
Yes.
anybody
We didn't
could
either.
outdo
We
the
said
young
this-
man's
Heath Ledger?
name.
Heath Ledger? Yeah.
Yes.
Heath Ledger.
We said the
I didn't think
same
anybody
thing.
could outdo Heath Ledger.
Nah.
We said
But
the
the
same
trailer has me totally
Yes.
intrigued.
He like the Joker he's playing.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Yeah, I agree.
It's
I
gonna be
agree.
phenomenal,
Yeah.
and the cast is amazing too. So when I knew it was just circled around him,
Right.
oh,
Yeah.
it's about to be on and popping.
I agree.
DC doing it right for the first. I ain't gonna say the first time.
Well, the Wonder Woman movie was good. The rest
yes,
of
it was.
them,
Aquaman was okay.
no.
You don't like you.
My wife and I watched Aquaman the other night, and
like it.
5 minutes in, we were like, "This is bad."
Really?
And 30 minutes in, this is really bad.
It wasn't Justice League
And
bad.
then an hour in, it was, "This is terrible."
Oh, wow.
We were both trying to do the Charles Barkley. This is terrible.
Terrible.
This is terrible.
Just
But
terrible.
the only thing she kept saying is, "Hallelujah, he sure does look good."
I was saying the same thing. Maybe that's why I thought it was so good.
Yeah.
Y'all just like the fact you married to Denise. That's Denise Huxley.
Yeah.
That's Lisa Bonet. That's. But you gotta understand,
After
man.
about the 4th or 5th time, Hallelujah, I was like, "Okay, baby,
I know. I got it.
You ain't got to keep saying that. I get it.
I get that when we go watch Creed.
Yeah.
Michael
Yeah.
B. Jordan.
Yeah.
I understand. He young too. Is he gonna look at like at 38?
Yeah. There you go.
You know.
There you go.
You know, he do movies. He got a personal trainer. He ain't got to do anything but read a script.
He don't have to take care of kids.
No, he got to do nothing. Get haircuts and just
You are absolutely right.
and do meal prep. That's all he got to do.
Absolutely right.
Yeah, so I get it, but it's gonna be a great film, I believe.
Yeah.
Avengers is gonna be fun.
Off the chain.
Nah, I don't.
Off the chain.
I'm gonna tell you how good it's gonna be. That movies have literally either pushed up or pushed back their dates.
Mm-hmm.
That like Shazam was supposed to come out at the end of this month. They was like, nah, player.
Gotta push.
This month got to be at least 2-3 weeks before.
Yeah,
then. Like
yeah.
they knew they didn't want no problem. Even Game of Thrones didn't want to put their premiere on Avengers. They can't.
Now,
It's
my
tough.
wife loves Game of Thrones. I watch it with her.
Yeah.
I'm not as into Game of Thrones as, although the girl riding the dragon.
The dragons, yeah, it's
Yeah.
Khaleesi.
And I'm trying to see what's gonna happen with the dead dragon.
With the ice dragon?
Yeah, the ice dragon. That's gonna be an interesting
Did
thing.
you hear that every episode is a movie length?
No.
Every
Well,
episode.
she's gonna love it because she will binge. She will start
That's us.
at 8 o'clock in the morning and
And-
10 o'clock at night. She's still watching
That is us.
Game of Thrones, and I'm like, "This is the 4th time you've seen this. Why are you acting like this is the first time?" She's talking to the TV. You know what's going to happen, so why are you doing all?
I know.
But she really loves Game.
That's
but
good.
I'm the same way with the Godfather.
Oh, you love
Okay.
Godfather.
Godfather 1, 2, and
What's your
3.
favorite?
Oh, 3. I
You love 3? I love 2.
Everybody hates 3, and they say it's not as good as the first 2. But I
I'm
love
not gonna say
3.
that.
Just
2
when
is
I
my
thought
favorite,
I
though.
was out, they pulled me back in.
Yeah, that's it.
That's my line.
Yeah.
That's my line for around here too. Just when I thought I was out,
You pulled
they
me
pulled me
right.
back in.
Pretty good.
They told me my organ ain't working today.
Yeah.
Just when I thought I was out.
Not,
It's a nice tagline.
I'm sorry, it is. I know it is.
I
Just
love
when I
it.
thought I was
I
out.
love it. Yeah.
Nah, Godfather 2 is my thing.
Yeah, well, I love 2.
I needed to see De Niro. When I saw De Niro,
I don't have an issue with any of them.
yeah.
I like 3, and I think I cater towards 3 because everybody
Didn't
dogged
like 3.
3.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, well, man, you're messing with my baby.
Yeah.
Leave my baby alone. Yeah.
I tried to sit up through The Godfather a couple times. I tried to. I was like, once you understand the story, you'll be engulfed.
You don't watch The Godfather?
No, I haven't.
Oh my goodness.
I know I probably would love it though, because I love those type of movies.
Keep your friends close. Keep your enemies closer.
That's where all these taglines came from.
Yeah, we're going to the mattresses.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's not business. It's not personal.
When he
It's
kissed
business.
his brother at the wedding.
Yeah.
Oh, you knew what that meant.
When he holds his brother and he looks at the assassin and says, "Now's the time to take him out."
Yes.
Wow.
He's holding his brother. And he's looking at the assassin, telling him, "Oh, now it's time."
Now's the time. So good.
It's a cold-blooded movie.
I
So
will be
good.
watching.
The horse head in the
Yes. And when you see the extended version, they did an extended version for television, where they put it in chronological sequence. Have you ever seen that?
Oh no, I have not seen it.
Where they blend 1 and 2 together.
Oh, and they tell the Italy story and that.
Exactly,
Oh,
and they put
man,
it
I
in
need to see
chronological
this.
sequence, and they extend the whole thing about the horse. You actually see him killing the horse and then sneaking the head
Into the bed.
You got to see.
I want to see it like that. Then.
Now see, that is, I didn't know they did that.
Yeah.
I need to see that. I need to see that. Now I'm all engulfed.
Now we got something to watch.
Yeah. Now I gotta find it. You gotta find that.
I know.
That's not just on Hulu.
Probably find it on Netflix. That would be my guess, but I'm not trying to sell y'all on Netflix.
Yeah, we're selling y'all.
Like that.
Nah, unless y'all want a deal. Not going.
So how is the comedy work going?
Oh my God.
Since the last time you were with me, how's the
Well.
comedy work going?
Baby,
Let's be honest.
let's be honest.
Let's be honest.
It has been exceptional.
Yeah.
If the word is more, I can't say blessed enough
I know.
because it's past a blessing.
Yeah.
It's more like
God, it's just
he play like you know when God show off.
yeah.
He said, I understand you giving me what I asked for, but now you just showing off.
Yeah.
Now you just it's been so good, and I'll give you one instance of it. But it's been so good that I know y'all don't know this, but today was my last day at work.
God bless you.
Yeah,
Yes.
last day of a 9 to 5. I will be doing comedy full time from now on.
That's fact. That's fact.
It came from first thing was like I was doing shows. I've always done shows. I've always been stand up heavy, and one of my best friends and my brother Robert Powell, who we've been working together 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
10 plus years. We've slept on each other's floors. We've shared one bed hotel rooms.
Mm-hmm.
We've
Road
done
trips.
road trip. Like we've been through the gutter. So we already know. We knew one of us in our crew. Like it's like me, Ayo, Carissa, Robert Powell. We already knew one of us gonna hit. We don't know, but we already knew what we was gonna do when one hits. It's like, hey, you already knew. Like so. Luckily, my brother is the one that got the opportunity, and I made sure he knew that. Look, I'm good. Hey man, go work, go do that. And he told me, he was like, the first time I can, I'm gonna need you. And literally, which is out the blue, because the full story is crazy, Pastor. We were pitching a TV show that we wrote. And we were getting callbacks, and people were like, "We're interested, but the money wasn't making sense." It was like, "We don't know if we want to put all that in," and we're excited about them even being interested because normally it's just no, right? So it was like, "We're interested," and we was like, "Wow!" So they interested. So we're all. This is November, right? October. This is October of last year.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, this is about to be good. Like, they interested, so we're gonna be writing a TV show. We're gonna be in it. We're gonna be good. But then everything slows down, and at that moment, I was like, babe, I told my wife, I was like, I think this is it. I said, but I gotta make a decision. And I told her, I was like, all right, February February, man, I'm it. That's it. Like February, I'll be done with work. It is what it is. And from, I think, November, nothing happened. From November, December, January, even in February, quiet. Nothing's happening. I think we went to Bible study.
Yeah.
Right after Valentine's Day, we went to Bible study. And leaving Bible study, I literally said this out loud. God, you got 14 more days.
Don't you hate it when you do that? And then he shows off. I told God, I said, hey, I told you what I was going to do. You got 14 more days. Yeah.
You said February. Yeah. It's like, you got to do something. Literally, I got a phone call. We were at our son's senior night in Austin, Texas, at Houston Tillerson, at his basketball senior night. Right after the ball game, we go out to eat. We're out to eat till midnight. My brother texts my wife and says, "Hey, is Howard up?"
Howard up.
She said, "Yeah, give him a call." She calls me and he was like, "I'm gonna need you in LA in 2 days." I said, "Huh?" He said, "In 2 days, I'm gonna need you in LA." And I was like, "What did it take for you to be in LA in 2 days?" I was like, "A flight." And he was like, "Done." He sent me my flight information like the next day. And I was like, all right, I told my boss, I said, I gotta go. I'm gonna be gone for 7 days. He said, dude, I don't even care if I have the time or not. I said, I just gotta go.
Gotta go.
This is February 26th. I left on this is 24th. Mm-hmm. I left on the 26th. It was from the 26th to March 7th. My friend got a call to be in the March Madness Uber Eats commercials, to be their guy, the face for Uber Eats. They gave him they allowed him to change anything about the scripts except for the tagline. Look, just come, like, if you don't feel it's right, you can change anything. He was like, well, I got to bring the person I know is funny that can help with this. And they was like, fine, bring him. What does he need? So they booked us a $600 night hotel for 7 days. And we stayed in downtown LA. We shot for 5 straight days, downtown LA, 13-hour days. I'm on set with a award-winning director who actually is the creator of, do you remember Anthony Hardaway? Played for the Magic. You remember Little Penny?
Penny Hardaway, yeah.
Little Penny,
Orlando.
Remember the Little Penny commercials with Chris Rock?
Yeah.
He created that.
Okay.
That's the director of the Uber Eats commercials. His name's Stacey Walls. We are literally shooting 13-hour days. I am literally on set. And I'm thinking I'm going to just be there. Look, this is what you need to change. You give it up, and I just sit back. No, the director is calling for me every day. Hey, Howard, I need you up here. I need to know what Robert needs to say. I need you to know. I just need to know what's this is going to make this better. He's calling me every day. I'm like, the whole crew, like, she recognized it before I did. She was like, don't you see that they are needing you? I was like, nah, I didn't know this, but I'm just here. And literally when I left there, I said, this is it. Yep. I said, this is what I'm gonna be doing the rest of my life.
He said it before he left. He was like, I'm quitting.
I'm quitting. I know this is it. And right when I said that, I was like, and I didn't even know how much I was gonna be making. I'm just here on faith.
Right.
And this is it. Because my flight was taken care of.
Yes, sir.
My hotel is taken care of.
My flight was taken care of.
And I'm here doing what I love. This is good enough, man.
Yeah.
Right? Well, they paid me about 6 months' salary for 5 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
I said, this is just 5 days.
Yeah.
And I wasn't even the guy. I was I'm helping the director and helping the script director punch up a script for this commercial, and this is what this does. And I was like, yeah, now I'm really done. So as soon as that happened, literally I come home, I wrote my resignation letter, sent it in. I was like, look, I was gonna quit on April Fool's Day, which was perfect. She said, you should quit on April Fool's Day. I was like, no, I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna do it to that Friday. And literally, this is the day that I quit, and now I'll give some of it, but I found out before walking in here that we have been okayed for that sitcom.
Isn't that a blessing? Congratulations.
Man,
Congratulations.
You understand, like, he's showing off, pal.
Yeah. Well,
he's showing off.
tell him show off a little bit more.
Oh, yes.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Ain't nothing wrong with it.
Ain't nothing wrong with that at
It's
all.
a blessing.
It
I
is.
knew I needed to jump. My wife been waiting on me to jump too.
Yeah.
She couldn't force me into the jump. She been wanting to.
Yep, but God told me to be still.
She told me, like, don't do it. He gonna jump when he ready. And he knew what I needed. I put him under the gun. That's what I did. When you do that to God, he'll be like, okay.
I've done it.
You've done it before?
And it's frightening.
It is.
Yeah. It's frightening. First of all, you like, after you do it, you're like, who do you think you are?
I know.
What to do? And when?
Have you lost your mind?
Your mind, right.
Yeah. And then when he responds to it, then you're like, oh. And now you're scared.
Yes.
because now the door is open. And you're like, all right, you got sense enough to walk through this door now?
Yes.
You asked for it.
That's
So you not
literally
play-
what
It's
happens.
troubling to me that there are people who will ask God to open doors. And then when the door opens, they're not ready to walk through it. They don't want to walk through
Yes.
it. They get ready to walk through it, and they pull their feet back. Well, I ain't so. They are so used to where they are
Yes.
that the not knowing of what's on the other side of the door will hold them back. And keep them from experiencing what God has provided for them. I tell people all the time, doors open, but they don't stay open forever.
No, they don't.
Yep.
They close.
Close.
Yes.
And when they close, it might be a long time before that door ever opens again. So when he opens the door, you better have sense enough
Yes.
to walk through it.
Walk through it.
So congratulations.
I appreciate it.
I'm very, very happy.
I appreciate
for you.
it.
That's a good way for us to end.
I know.
Because we've talked about The Godfather.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we've talked about The Avengers.
Yes.
And
Yes.
we've
This is
talked
full
about
day
your
for me.
marriage.
Marriage ministry.
Yeah. And now I'm
everything.
gonna get you to go pray on my organ. That
Yeah. You gonna go over there and lay hands on it.
there you go. There you go.
That organ gonna come back. I believe in it.
Yeah.
I believe in it. It's not gonna be down long.
Seriously, thank you all so much for coming. Thank you for sharing.
having us.
Thank you for being honest and for being vulnerable. Thank you for the people that you all are helping. And I'm very grateful. And if there's a way that Shiloh can play a role in what you all are doing, don't hesitate to
Absolutely.
ask.
Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Man, thank you.
We
Right.
appreciate it.
Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for listening. We'll be back
Thank
again next
you.
time.